Welcome, Kings and Queens, to another episode brought to you by us, the educators. I am Oba, and I'm here with my brothers.
Yo, what's good? It's Shabazz.
Yo, facts over emotion, facts over feelings.
And we got a special reaction. It's not a reaction video, it's a reaction to a passage or notes and thoughts. So, as teachers, as parents, as a son, all these type of things, we all have these experiences where, like, we get older and we look back at life in comparison to other people that we know, and we realize why they have a leg up on us. Like one of the easiest way we noticed it was in school, not when we saw white people in different ways, and we started saying that, like, oh, he must have white parents, or their parents, you know what I'm saying, are better off. You know what I'm saying? You start noticing that, like, okay, I would have been this far if my parents did this, or I would have had this if my parents did this, and then it starts growing this type of this resentment, this hatred for your parents, this disdain for things that they did do or they didn't do when you were younger. And yeah, there's situations where there's traumatic things, where rape, abuse, things like this take place, neglect. But we're talking about even past that, not things that are that bad. These are like subtle cases where, like, my sister said to me one time when she saw me talking to my son, and she was like, "Dang, I wish I had that discipline." And what she was thinking was that, like, she can see her issues now and can see that, like, dang, by the time he gets older, he's going to be in control of a lot of things in his life, a lot of different aspects, because of the discipline he's getting raised with. So with that being said, there's a passage that says you may want to forgive your parents for, and there's a list of things, as you can see on the screen, for things that, like I said, your parents didn't know. I have these conversations with students, even adults, when I do uncertified therapy sessions. I don't know why you try to lock me up. I have therapy sessions with people where I try to go back through their past and figure out what the issue was. You often find that, like, the parent didn't do this or that. I did it for myself. I realized what my dad and my mom didn't do, but thank God that I had other people to fill in those gaps.
Yeah, it takes a village.
And that's why, and going back, you actually took the words out of my mouth. That's what I was going to finish with. It takes a village. That's what you realize as you get older. And you understand that your parents have certain things that they didn't understand. They didn't grow up with the manual. You understand how to parent, unless their parents taught them.
Yeah.
And even then, society's forever changing. So with that being said, we're going to go through this list and we'll give you our thoughts about things that you want to forgive your parents for. Because they did the best they could with what they had. Whatever knowledge, resources, time, you know what I'm saying, they did the best.
For sure.
So the first one says, raising you through their own unresolved trauma.
And that's a big one. I feel like, especially when we're younger, we don't even understand that our parents were kids at one point, and they were raised by somebody else, and they were going through their own situations, you know, that led to them being who they are to this day.
Yes,
So,
and not to cut you off, you said a great point. Their environments play a huge role. So it's not just their parents.
Yup.
Whatever time period was going on, whether it's the 70s, 60s, 80s, sometimes some people's parents grew up in war. Some parents were not here in America. They're like, as a son of Nigerian parents and having family that's Eritrean and Ethiopian, our parents lived through war in their teenage years.
Okay.
You understand? So when we talk about, like, trauma and stress in America, one thing I easily do is look at my parents' struggle. Like, is it anywhere near what I'm dealing with? And that's what helps me snap out of it.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on what you're saying, like, yeah, my parents, they grew up, they lived through the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So the 60s, you got the civil rights movement, just seeing the trauma that other black people were going through on TV. In the 70s, you got the Vietnam War, and then you got the crack 80s. It's like it's so much stuff in the environment, and so many different results that could play a positive or negative aspect onto how they raise you.
Yes. You continue on with your point.
No, that was, like, that just goes back to, that's the gist of it, at the end of the day, we, especially when we're younger, we overlook certain factors, like what I listed earlier, and that's real big, in terms of how we view our parents.
Yes. And the things are, like, sometimes, depending on the conversations you have with your parents, a lot of people don't have deep conversations.
Right.
They have a lot of, like, fluff or how's everything and keep it at that. But some of our parents were abused. Some were molested. Some went through things that we don't really know why they always had an attitude, why this always triggered them, because they didn't grow up in a time of mental health and therapy and talking about your issues. A lot of them, men and women, just took everything in. You understand? That's from all cultures, Black culture, African culture. You understand? So that's the reality where it's like, it will help as a person to talk to your parents about what their hardest times were growing up. What was the easiest times? What's the happiest moments? I came across a list. I saved it, but it was questions you can ask your parent to really understand their life growing up, and it'll kind of help you as well.
I seen that John too.
Huh?
I think I seen
Yeah,
that.
I may have sent it to y'all. I'm not sure, but it's a great question, and you'll start to realize like, dang, okay, this is why you was this way. So that's one right there. Always understand your parents was raising you through their own unresolved trauma. So it would be in your best interest now that you're older to help them resolve their traumas, so they can have a peaceful passing. You understand? Next one says, not being able to understand you because they did not have the capacity to.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there.
You want me to elaborate or?
Now I was just about to say, I thank God that I didn't have to go through that. I think to a certain extent, both of my parents, because I had both of my parents in my life growing up, we all lived in the same house. They did understand me to a degree, well enough that we could function. But if they could have understood me a little bit better, I think I'll be a better person than where I am in today. I won't say a better person. I'll be further along than where I am today. If we could have both understood each other, if they could have understood each other, and then if they could have collectively understood me, and I understood where they were coming from. Because now, as a father, as a teacher, I do see where they were coming from. And mom and dad, I appreciate those ass whoopings. Whole time, if I'd had more, I might be further along. Like I said, but hey, I digress.
Yes.
You still made it
Sounds
far.
better than none.
For sure, appreciate that, brother.
You want to add something?
To that part.
Yeah. So I was gonna say not being able to understand you because they did not have the capacity to. I'm gonna answer it for you. So here's the thing. You see, facts is we're all African, but you grew up in America.
Yeah,
Foundational Black American.
Yes, sir.
Now our parents were African. We were first generation Americans. Like, we're born here. Our parents were not born here. So the gap of understanding is even wider. Our parents have this mindset that the most successful person they see back home is what we're supposed to be here in America, growing up in this jungle. So it easily makes them lose sight of simple things which they demonize. So something as simple as hair. You have locks in the African culture, you're going down the wrong path.
You're a criminal.
You're a criminal. If you're not getting straight A's.
Black culture too.
I'm sure black culture, but African culture is another level.
Not for sure.
But you're definitely right. You're definitely right in black culture too. And then
But you said the grades, y'all do got us on the grades though.
Yeah.
grades, even what you want to do in the future.
I was gonna say, if you're not trying to be a doctor or a
Lawyer,
dentist or a lawyer,
engineer, no, don't leave. Get out of my house. So at the end of the day, that's simple thing in terms of God.
You know what I'm saying? You say you want to be a basketball player.
Basketball. Girl, you gotta read your book. You know what I'm saying? Like, they look at us like we crazy.
Basketball player, why are you gay?
Hey, bro, we are failures until we get older and have something to show them.
Like shit.
Literally, we're just failures until we hit 27, 28.
I think that's all parents because they all want to brag to their
Yes.
friends about you.
Yes.
So if you're not doing something that's braggable,
Yes.
they like fuck it.
Yes, but our parents are even more hardened. Like, they get happier. Like, you're right, it is across all cultures. But the African parent, because even I was blessed to not have a father who was like that. My father was very mild-mannered. He didn't really care. He just wanted me to be successful in whatever I did. But the majority of African parents, it's not the case.
Sure.
Like, you are literally a failure. They will look at you as like the scum of the earth in the house every day.
Very cruel.
Very, very cruel, to the point where it starts destroying your own confidence,
Right.
your self-worth. You understand? And then you start spending extra time trying to like appease them for things that they don't even understand. They don't even understand the society they're in.
Yeah.
You understand? So that's the part where, like, I can understand when you say why our African parents don't understand us, because, like I said, we're in America and they don't realize what's going on in education. They see the things. The girls tell us don't hang around these people. Don't hang around them.
Yeah.
We can tell a lot of it's programming. And it's not till you get older and they see you doing certain things that they say, okay, all right. And even some parents still have resentment based on what you do. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
They still have resentment. So to that, I would say you can't make them happy, but you can try to explain things. One great point I would say is that like going to college. If you don't want to go to college for any young person, you need to have a clear plan and be able to communicate to your parents what you want to do. Explain to them that it might take me a year, 2 years. There's less money. You got to explain almost everything to them.
Give them the blueprint.
Give them the blueprint. You can't just say, I don't want to go to college.
Show
You
them
understand?
the facts.
You gotta give them some kind of detail, some kind of example, some kind of anything. And then some, not all, but some, if not half, would be like, all right, I'm gonna see what you got. I'm gonna fall back. You know what I'm saying? And they'll still get on you for any little subtle thing. The one thing I will say is don't get caught doing nothing stupid.
No,
Don't get no girl pregnant, or don't get pregnant. Don't get caught with no weed. Don't get caught drunk. You know what I'm saying? These are all. Don't get caught with the bad friend that they've been telling you about.
Yeah.
So you gotta avoid those things and try to talk to them. Try to introduce them to subtle things like music that's not super crazy. Watch something with them. Watch a TV show or a movie. I don't know, like, but me, what makes me successful as a parent, and I'm sure you too, is that as educators, we're seeing young kids, so we understand children in every aspect.
No, for
Every
sure.
age, like, there's nothing my son could do that I haven't seen already.
Facts.
There's nothing.
Facts.
There's nothing. No trick, no little slip thing, no little. I've seen it all.
And it's crazy about that because, like, since we both are educators, we've been in education our whole life. As
Education
a student
and coaching.
as a teacher. Yes. And coaching as well. So you mix all that together, like you said, you seen it all. Like I seen it as a kid, I've seen it as a teenager,
Yes.
and I've seen it as an adult. Like I've
Yes.
seen it all. Like
Yes.
there's nothing you can do to
Circle
surprise
of
you.
life.
Yes.
Like, yeah, circle of life.
Yeah, so my advice to most parents would be learn about children in whatever way capacity, try to be more involved. And as young people, communicate more with your parents. Talk to them. Try to have conversations. The next thing is not being able to teach you certain skills as nobody taught them. That's one of the biggest ones. This is one of the people complain about. Is that how can you teach me about finances? How can you teach me to be healthy? How can you teach me how to deal with emotional
Intelligence.
teach me about emotional intelligence.
For sure.
You understand? Or emotional control, sexual discipline. I know so many men that didn't teach their sons about the crazy landmine of women we have in society. A lot of men just taught their sons don't get pregnant, wear a condom. That's probably the most.
Yeah, I think I had low-key had one of the worst sex talks ever. My dad just talked about the different sizes of men. I'm like, pause. Like, bro, why is this the sex talk? I've been waiting to hear this.
Now you said it. Hey, I kind of want to know more about the
Crazy.
detail. Pause. I want to know more.
All right, and the shit was crazy. It was short and sweet. Pause.
Okay.
He was like,
Okay.
son, there's some guys that got some big ones, there's some medium ones, and small ones out there. You just gotta get in when you fit in and do what you gotta do. And I was like, oh, okay.
Hey, I'm going to have to say this.
What?
Pops gave you some real ass deep advice. It's just he should have added a little bit more. We gotta add the
Content
pause.
to that shit.
We gotta add pause in every single spot. So please, whoever jump in and say the pause. But that's powerful as hell because
Sure.
a lot of dudes go into different vaginas and not realizing they're like, your partner don't keep her because 15 inches done been in and out of that constantly.
sure.
And she had 2 kids.
And she had 2 kids, so you probably not gonna be. You can buy her all the things, be as nice as possible. She gonna have that itch because once 15 or a certain amount's been in them, you gotta be somewhere close. That's what I'm saying. And you might have to have tricks. So it's a powerful. That's the. Cause that's I'm probably gonna have to use that one when he gets to like 13, 14. Let him know, hey, bro. Remember that conversation we had when you was 8? It's the next level of it. You know what I'm saying? That's real. He just needs to add a little more details
Yeah, for sure.
around it. What age did he tell you that?
I think it was like in middle school, it was like 13.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
great. Yep, and he's right. Because you got dudes at 6th grade, 5th grade who are piping joints out. You know what I'm saying? Because God blessed them with something. You know what I'm saying? The whole
Yeah, for
arm.
sure.
You feel me? So it's just the reality. You know what I'm
Baby
saying?
leg.
Hey, you said what?
The baby leg.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? And your father said you got to get in where you fit in. You know what I'm saying? As you fit different females, you got to see, all right, how well does this fit? You know what I'm saying? And some women do Kegels, some women have ability to snap it back, but yeah. But not being able to teach you certain skills, like I said, there's financial literacy where like a lot of us in our generation weren't taught that.
Yo.
Hell
Like
no.
money was a taboo topic.
No,
We don't
for
talk
sure.
about money.
For sure.
You understand? So young people grow up with all kinds of bad ideologies about money and mindsets. And the school system don't teach it either.
Yo.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying? Another one is picking a partner for both genders. You understand? You get subtle conversations, like moms, for example, because we have a high rate of single mothers, raise their sons to be the type of man that most women are not going to take.
No, for sure.
You understand? And the man that they probably wouldn't even get with.
No, for sure.
You understand? So you see the bad advice being given. Women are taught. You know what I'm saying? You don't rely on no man, and don't do this for no man. Just all this stuff not to do for no man.
And then on the flip side, if you a father who's scorned by his baby mother,
Yes.
bees ain't this,
Yes.
bees ain't
Yes.
that.
Yes. It goes
All
both
they wanted
ways.
is, suck you dry, pocket style.
Yes. So go ahead. So there's a lot of things, like I said, it's all aspects. So try to have those conversations as much as possible.
And a lot of that goes back to the unresolved trauma.
Yes. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So that's the part, like I said, the trauma, financial trauma,
Yo.
sexual trauma, you know what I'm saying, health trauma.
They couldn't teach you what they never learned.
You understand? And then some parents, because it's like you have to admit that you went through 30, 40, 50 years of life doing something wrong. They don't want to change their habits.
No, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? They
Stuck
don't
in
want
their
to,
ways.
Yeah.
exactly. Like they don't want to admit that, like, I didn't know this. You know what I'm saying? They want to just listen to their son now who's 21, who's trying to tell them about finances because you don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? From 30 years ago.
Yo.
Right.
So you have those subtle things too, but like I said, that's why I tell all young people, once you get to the age of like 16, 17, 18, to be honest, there's no more excuses because of technology. You can learn whatever you want. You can go find mentors, you know what I'm saying? Go find information. So you gotta stop blaming everything on the parents.
Facts.
Get out there, do things for yourself, figure things out.
Yo.
At least when you get to like 18, 19. Normally I say 23, but 18, 19 because of how much technology is accessible.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Next one says, being emotionally unavailable, as their parents were emotionally unavailable. So, you know, some fathers don't understand like that balance between being aggressive and tough, and let me give you a hug, let me kiss you, let me, you know what I'm saying, tell you, all right, good job. You understand? Now,
Yeah, that affection.
yeah, affection. Now, I will say this, there's a point where it goes overboard. And it has to be a balance because moms, when they're by themselves, they do it to a point where they cripple their children. So, in this age, I still think that being emotionally unavailable sometimes is still good because it creates a balance. You understand? Now, you should also be available a good amount of time.
No, for sure.
But there has to be times where the child can just be like, they can go and do their own thing. You understand? And it's times where you're going to tell them, like, get up. It wasn't that bad.
And that's how you learn about your child, and that's how your child learns about you.
Facts. Facts. Big facts.
Certain things that you want to do for them, it's not gonna happen all the time. So
Yes.
like as you get older, you're gonna have to learn, like you said, to pick yourself up on
Yes.
your own. Give yourself that mental talk, or even talking out loud to yourself, so you know what you got to get through. And then your parent gonna see you go through that again. Like, okay, I see you learn from that. Good
Yes.
job.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, because that, and I don't like using the word being unemotional, but just that like straight stone cold face and personality of a man that I experienced in African homes, it set a balance from what the woman was doing, and it leveled all of us out.
It gives you a realistic expectation of
Yes.
the real world.
Yes. Yes.
That's what everybody grows up and goes into.
Yes, I agree. So I would just say, like, find a balance. You know what I'm saying? Push your child, communicate, over communicate, but don't do everything for them. Don't be overly emotional, because men. And shout out to AD Shabazz. I forgot what school. I'm so mad I forgot the school. But AD Shabazz in DC, great man. He said to me, he said, men must have emotions, but not be emotional. So it's always important to show your children that emotion and let them know, you know what I'm saying, that there's love here. You know what I'm saying, that I'm gonna take care of you, but love comes in different aspects.
No, for
You
sure.
understand?
Man, it don't make you soft the hug or kiss your child.
Yes.
Give him a hug. You actually at least have a handshake.
Yes,
At
exactly.
minimum.
Exactly. So and you gotta be creative and think. Y'all wanna add anything else to that?
No, you got
All right. Next thing, doing the best they could with what they knew and had.
Mm.
You understand?
And that one hit different because I hear a lot in podcasts of people talking, or even my parents, they be like, "We was poor, but I didn't know we was poor."
Yes.
So their parents made the best of what they had, and then on the flip side, once they got to an adult, they took that foundation that their parents gave them and gave the same thing to us.
Yes. Yes. And
Sometimes as a child, you don't understand that you want the new Jordans because everybody got the new Jordans, or you want this because everybody got this, but everybody's financial status
situation
ain't the
is
same.
different.
So you just gotta roll with the punches and do what you gotta do.
And that goes into teaching your child about finances and assets and liabilities. Because once you have that conversation with them at a young age, they're not even going to be triggered about that stuff.
Facts.
You're not going to care that everybody got it.
Value systems change.
It's
What
funny
the
how you
child
mention
value.
that, because I tell my two daughters all the time, we don't need no new toys. We got enough. And when they go out, they went to the Soul Circus just the other day. They saw all this stuff. My wife is like, they asked for one thing.
Yeah, see? There you go.
Good job, baby. So
There
like,
you
thank
go.
you, Daddy.
There you go. See? There you go. And then you said a key thing. Show them the emotion and appreciation when they do that task.
No, for sure.
You understand? Like whenever your child does something that's like not normal to what other kids do, show them like good job. You know what I'm saying? This was gonna make you special.
No, for
You
sure.
understand? So that's one that like. And here's a hot take. People are best raised when they're damn near poor or close to pinch of pennies when they have a family structure. You're more likely to come out better as a human being in that environment than two parents who just have everything. Because that's when you have the emotional negligence and people don't have time for you. You're gonna have a nanny with you most of the time.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like everything's gonna be given to you. You ain't gonna learn how to work for nothing. You ain't gonna know struggle. I think all children should have struggle without trauma.
Facts.
That's one thing that's in my book. My book is coming out hopefully in a year or two. But all children must have some kind of hard struggle they experience without being traumatized.
But just take it back off that. Fuck all that. Hopefully, we manifesting in a year or two. I'm at book.
Yeah, no,
coming
it
out.
will come out. I just don't know
Yeah.
when. Yeah, 100%. It will come out. It's just either this year or next year. But that's the key thing, because the children, as a coach, as a teacher, the kids who you can tell like have a hard background, or they got to watch their brother, or they've been through this or that, you can see the difference in how they
So
behave
They are definitely a better teammate.
Facts.
on every aspect. Even in the classroom setting, you can see it.
Yeah, for sure.
You understand? And then the kids who got fresh pair of shoes and all this, you can see like, oh, all you care about is this. You don't care about nothing else.
Mhm.
And-
Nice, man.
Most of those times, those parents aren't doing that much better. Their parents' mind just thinks about fashion.
Yeah, for sure.
And now they program their child to think about their value based off what they're wearing.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So that's another one. So try to not give your child everything. You know what I'm saying? Let them know they can earn everything, but don't give them everything. Next one is following cultural norms that they were surrounded with. That's what we talked about earlier in terms of the environment.
Yeah. Okay.
So these are another plug for the book. I got this from, I think it was 19 Keys. Shout out to 19 Keys. He talked about 4 E's. He said environment, entertainment, education, and experiences is what shape every single person. Those 4 E's. And that goes back to, like I said, the culture. Our parents came from a certain culture. Even your parents came from a certain culture in terms of era.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the parents who grew up in the civil rights movement are 30 times different than parents who grew up now.
City girl parents.
Yeah,
For sure.
That's a 50-year difference.
bruh. And you can see it. You see the
would think
parents.
That's like 200 years. 200 years apart.
Right.
Hey, man, the white man vicious, man. Like,
Hey,
this
hey,
programming is
hey,
vicious.
hey. Have y'all seen the Clone Tyrone?
Not yet, not yet.
With that thing you just said, I'm only like an hour, 45 minutes in. But yeah. And there's things that we already know. But it's just, when you get to see
It's
it,
reinforced.
and all the subtle things they put throughout the whole movie,
Yeah.
and then the minds like we have, catching everything.
Like, sure.
My wife saw it the first time. The second time we watched it together. And I was calling things out. And she was like, damn, I would not know none of this.
Like, shit.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm probably going to do a reaction video where I break that down too.
Quick question.
Yes.
Is that a Jordan Peele film?
No, but the dude was inspired by Jordan Peele. So he put everything from Jordan
Yeah.
Peele films and then our childhood growing up.
Okay, okay.
Because you're a little younger.
Yeah.
a lot younger. But in our childhood, you're gonna see a lot of references to our time period when we were young. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes it even cooler. Some things probably go over your head though, just because it's such a gap. You know what I'm saying? In that movie, you feel me? Because even some things went over your sister's head. But at the end of the day, following cultural norms, it can be dangerous because in this society, you see what the norms are.
No, for sure.
You understand? And that society back in the day, it depends on where you're at.
No, for sure. And just like that, this is saying what I say all the time. Keeping up with the Joneses is the blind leading the blind. Niggas can't see, but you following them. Like, stop following everybody. Excuse me. Like, it's certain people that you need to do your own research on. You can follow those people. Like, these people that you just out here following blindly, bro. You got to open up your eyes.
You know what's scary about the comment of keeping up with the Joneses?
Yeah.
That was regulated to like your neighbors, people at work.
Mm-hmm.
Now keeping up with the Joneses is the whole social media network.
Like shit.
Before, all you had was your neighbor to compare yourself to. Oh, they got a new car. I'm gonna get a new car. They got a new, let's go. That's how I used to go before.
They get the TV box. How the hell they get a big TV? I need to get a big TV.
Yeah, because people think this following thing is just something that just started with social media. No. It's always been there. Like our parents, especially the mothers.
Man, what? Auntie got a new couch. We got the same one next week.
New couch too. Right. So that's the thing about it is that one thing I say is that if you can kind of like train people in your environment and your village, that can dictate the culture that's spread throughout everybody. You know what I'm saying? Sure. As much as possible. It's not easy, but like in our family, all of us, all our siblings, you know what I'm saying? Our grandparents to a certain extent, some more than others, we're all on the same page for the most part. You got some people that's doing little dumb stuff that we ask not to do to a certain extent. But for the most part, everybody's more on the same page than other families.
For sure.
You understand? And, so that's the one thing I'll say is that the norms are out of control now. You could have hoped that your parents grew up in a great environment, but this day and age, all you can do is change your environment and try to talk to your parents to understand their environment. You understand? Because when I talked to my father and I asked him about asked him questions about his teenage years, his adolescence years, and then up to his time he came to America, I realized his whole personality. From that point on, I just realized, okay, now it makes perfect sense. You understand? The things that you did or didn't do. Because I ain't gonna lie, I used to resent my father for not making a lot of money. Because my mom trained me to always want things. You know what I'm saying? And I used to be like, dog, just get some money, bro. What you doing, dog? Get some more money. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But then you realize that, like, all right, he is trying. It's just, he's limited. Yeah. Now, that's the other part where I'm like, he could have did more, but he was also trying to live his life.
No, for sure, yeah.
You understand? And that's the part where it's like, you see some parents who go above and beyond, work 50 hours, 60 hours for their kids, but they're not able to be there.
Right.
Hey, parents who are in that situation, I'm not speaking on everybody. Some of y'all need the money, but kids spell love Time. They need that time, man.
That's the biggest indicator to a person growing up right, is the time spent with family and the love they get.
Straight up.
You understand? Not how much money they have. Not at all. You understand? So last one says, raising you through their own struggles, worries, pain, and fears. So that connects with like parents having expectations and scared that you're gonna get shot when you go out in the street as young black male, or scared that you're gonna get caught by the police by being at the wrong party.
On the flip side of that, just living out of their own insecurities and their own fears as a child.
Yes.
I remember growing up as, I'm pretty sure every black kid, most black kids in America thought I was gonna be a professional athlete.
Yes.
No homo. I got an arm on me. You hear me?
Yeah.
But everybody in my family like, what? Quarterback? You ain't gonna be no quarterback. Go to my aunt. Quarterback? You ain't gonna be no quarterback. Crushed my whole demeanor, bro. Like, I'm not saying I made it to the NFL, but I could have played on the college level.
I feel you.
But mentally, they fucked me up.
That makes sense. Yeah, because you got to start the child early. All those elite colleges athletes you see were started early in some kind of way, whether it be health, training, belief, being pushed.
And I ain't even saying elite, like shit. I graduated from Bowie State. I take a D2.
Nah,
my son about to go to Salisbury. I take a D3 school. I just want the opportunity to play.
Yeah,
D2 is still better than 99%.
Man, what?
Yeah, straight up. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. Because one thing you see, like, you have a lot of athletes who you learn to that they don't even like the sport.
Not for sure.
And then you find out that Pops was traumatizing them because of their failures in sports.
Whole time, bro, wanted to be an artist.
Yes, exactly. You have on the female side where like moms have this expectation, this ideology, and then they program their daughters, you understand? Because of their trauma, what they experience, I have so many parents that's like, I stay with your grandfather through all this, but girl, don't do the same thing. You understand? Not realizing that like, yeah, the circumstances were different, situations different, and the environment is totally different, so you can't give her that same advice. You understand? But like you said, there's so many issues that plague, like a lot of mothers now won't let their kids go outside to play because they're scared something's gonna happen, even with the Ring cameras and windows. Our parents just had windows and they didn't check all the time.
Like,
These parents got Ring cameras and still don't want their kids outside.
And once again, that's programming. They fear mongered you out here.
Yes.
Stop watching the news all the damn time, bro.
Yes.
Like,
yes,
I never
yes.
watch the news. Now stay safe.
Yes.
straight up.
So, with that, you want to add anything else?
I'll just say, ask questions. You know, ask your parents questions. Ask your parents' friends questions.
Yes.
You know, and try to understand before being angry.
Yes.
And yeah, that's all I can really say.
That's actually a great point. That's one thing I'll tell you. You're 100% right. Not only do you have to ask your parents, because sometimes people give like sometimes biased answers, or they only remember from a certain viewpoint.
Right.
But when you ask their brother or their sister or their mother and father, Lord willing they're there, or their friends,
That's when you get the real.
you get a whole different story.
Yeah, for sure.
You start to realize, oh, okay, so that's a great point you said. Yes, ask everybody.
And parents, when a child asks you a tough question, don't get mad at them. Like, if you ain't got the answer right now, don't just because you're the loudest one don't mean you're the rightest one. So I ain't got the answer for you right now. I'll come back to you.
Yes, because you destroy the curiosity of the child when you do that. And it happens so much, especially in those pivotal years, that a child won't want to go learn nothing.
Yeah, I remember my parents, both of us, like, Chops, you can talk to me about anything.
That's
As
what
soon
they
as
say.
I say something, nyang. You know what I did? I stopped talking to them about stuff.
Child
Our
never
news
wanna
are
answer.
over.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Straight
Child
up.
never asked questions from that day forward.
Oh,
Straight up. And that's a great point. So with that being said, ask questions. Ask good questions. Ask thoughtful questions. Do not be scared of responses. And make sure everybody eats, V.
and like and subscribe, man. Swear.
Yes,
We
please.
throwing this fire at y'all,
Yes.
man. And eat.
Yes.
D.
Everybody eats, B.